All right. Excellent. Good morning, everybody. We're here to talk about YouTube, growing your business through YouTube. I am super excited today because I talk a lot about Facebook. I've been talking more about Instagram. You know, I love the social media, but I never really talked too much about YouTube until I took this course through Florida Realtors. And I really loved the way she looked at a lot of the things about YouTube. I mean, I've always incorporated YouTube, but I liked a lot of her strategies. So I put this together and I really think you're going to get some good stuff today. And if you don't, so sorry. Just kidding. Okay, so let's just delve in, get started. YouTube, why should you use it? Now, how many of you guys already have a YouTube channel? Everybody in this room, right? Okay. Everybody online? Anybody online does not have a YouTube channel? Oh, well, you need one. Oh, this is Trish, by the way. So it's Tatiana's team. Woo! Okay. All right. So.
Hi, Trish.
Hi. That's Stacy. Okay. So the number one most interesting thing about YouTube, guys, it is not social media. It's a search engine. It is people go on YouTube. My husband does not even go on the computer anymore for like Google. He goes on YouTube. That's what he uses it. People go there to search things. They go there to watch videos. I swear, now that the Roku TV is set up to search YouTube all the time, and now you can talk into what you want to search, which is really, really great. I mean, when I see my husband on TV, that's all he's doing, searching YouTube. And he's like everybody else, right? Everybody's searching YouTube. It is, yes, right. I mean, anything you want to know, it's on YouTube. I've said for years, if you want to know how to do something, go to university. The University of YouTube, right? I mean, I have learned how to do so many things on YouTube, like we all have, right? But let's use this to our advantage. The cool thing is now people are using it like a verb. I just YouTubed it. Instead of Googling it, I YouTubed it. It has really become so mainstream. It is now the go-to place. It is now the number 2 search engine on the number 1 search engine company, which is Google, right? So think about that. That's huge. People don't go to Facebook to search for things. And God help you if you want to go to Facebook or Instagram to search a video, because you're never going to find it, and like Instagram, right? Those things disappear unless you put it on a reel, right? They're going to disappear in a story. So not that there's not a place for that, not that that's not a place in a space, but YouTube has, like there's a shelf life when you put it on social media, right? It only lasts for a certain period of time. There's a point for it, but it's quick. YouTube lasts forever. So make sure that your content you're putting out there is something you, first of all, want to last forever, but it's put out there in a way that people will search for it. So for that example, I just put out there living in Dr. Phillips. I just put it out there. This came up. Now look who comes up first. Ken Pozek. By the way, he comes up first on a lot of living in places. Ken Pozek, who is a sweetheart, and I'm working on him. I love him. But Ken has really turned his business into a YouTube business. That's what he focuses on. Hey, Amanda, he loves videos and he just creates tons of great content. Really natural, great content. Does Ken pay for that? No. He came up first on the search. That's SEO heaven. Can you imagine that? If you paid for a comment, has anybody, and I can tell you, because I know a lot of you have come to me and said, oh, I was going to buy this marketing company and they're guaranteeing me that I'll be in the first page of search engine optimization. Anybody have a marketing company that came to me and said how much that was going to cost a month? How much, Shane? You remember?
Like 500 a month.
Yeah, $500-600 a month. $500-600 a month. Jenny says more. Well, I've seen them $500-600 a month. And guess what? I've searched every of these companies. You're never on the first page. You're like, if you're on the 13th page, search engine optimization, my butt. Here, Ken is not paying a penny for this. And he's on the first page. Let me tell you, I put in living in Winter Garden. This is the scariest thing. He was not the first one. He was like the 3rd or 4th one. It wasn't even Winter Garden. He was comparing Windermere and Winter Park. And he still showed up because there wasn't enough. By the way, those of you who like Winter Garden, we're going there. Ding, ding, ding. But the key is there wasn't enough content for Winter Garden. That should tell you something, guys. So one of the things I'm going to give you as homework to do for you YouTubers, which you guys are all going to be YouTubers now, is start to search content and see what kind of content there is not. Right? Don't go out there and do content that there is, right? Why compete amongst the masses? Because there's so much content that there's not. That's what you want to do, right? So it's the key is get great content, but before you start putting time and energy into that great content, make sure you're not recreating the wheel and just doing the same old content that everybody else has done, right? Create your own thing. So here's a great realtor to follow. She's awesome. Her name is Karen Carr. Is she the one?
Yeah.
Yes.
I went to the course.
You did. I was wondering if it was her. Bless you. Did you ever use her stuff?
I didn't do her paid stuff, but
Mhm.
I went through her free, like,
Yeah.
I don't know however many week course.
Florida Realtors brought her in as a speaker.
Oh, she's amazing.
She's awesome. What is awesome about her is she's real.
Yeah.
And she's not like this amazing looking model. That's for sure. If you look at her, she's not like, you know, some of you go, well, of course she's got. She's okay. She says it herself. But that's the point. People don't go to YouTube to watch beautiful people, you know, stand there and model.
That's Instagram.
Yeah, that's Instagram. Honestly, listen, it's annoying. I don't want to watch some beautiful person at the gym. That pisses me off, right? I want to go to YouTube to find something worthy of content that I want to see to learn something, right? Like when I want to go travel, when we were going to the Grand Canyon in Sedona, you know how many times I searched up best things to do in Sedona? I keep seeing the same people and they weren't good looking, but they had great content. That's the point, right? So this is what I'm talking about. So, but this is her point, and this is exactly what I don't want. And I bet a lot of you guys are going to do this. Imperfect action can lead to amazing results. What does that mean? Do not do what most people do. Analysis paralysis, right? That is the key. Do something. The most important thing, you may not have the best quality, you may not have the best anything, but do something. Just, you know, you're not going to embarrass yourselves, guys. You have great ideas. You're professionals. You have wonderful ideas, content, knowledge. Just share something and it will be so much better than not sharing anything. That is the key. So these are some of her things that she does. How to list your home. You know, it talks about the Zillow, moving to Savannah, things that you love about Savannah. But what she really focuses on is posting one video. That's it. One video a week. And she gets 3 to 5 leads every day. Guys, I don't know about you. That's freaking awesome. And these,
Barry, how does she funnel that? Like once she posted, how is she funneling that to
we're going
her?
to talk about that, but this is the most important thing. You don't, when you post something, it's not about showing a picture and saying, call me. Guys, I talk about this all the time. No one's going to call you. Okay. That's not what happened. Okay. Don't put your business card out there and assume that they're going to take down that information. It's not happening.
Oh, okay.
You got to get them to your website for something free, a free download. We're going to talk about calls to action. She has a great video about a specific content and something relating to that content. She says, oh, and hey, click below to get your free whatever that relates to what she was talking about. And then they click below and give all their details. That's how. And then they may reach out to her or she reaches out to them, but they give all of their details. And what's really cool is she creates such a real following because the most important thing is she's authentic. She doesn't get all gussied up and dressing away like with the evening gown or something ridiculous. Like whatever you normally wear, you know, listen, if I showed up and I wore something that I normally don't, you know, wear, if I was in, well, I wouldn't put bikinis on or some crazy thing like that. But like, you know, if I were wearing something that I don't normally wear and then I meet you and I look totally different, don't you feel like you bought false goods, right?
Yeah.
You've got to feel like when you meet the person, that's the same person I've been talking to, which you haven't been talking to, but some people do talk to TV, which is kind of weird, right? But they have to feel like they already know you. That it's more than social media.
At that point, yeah.
It is. It's more than social media because now they're relying on the content you're giving them. That's the thing. And that's why they trust you already. So that's the important thing. When these leads come in, they're not cold leads. They're really warm leads. They have been through your videos. They really like what you've said. They really trust you. So, and they've given you their real information. They're not just calling 5 other realtors, right? Like realtor.com or something and looking for the cheapest deal. These people sought you out because you got great content. It's a very different kind of lead. And the cool thing is, on your YouTube channel, you have all your analytics. You can look on every YouTube. You can see what your views are. You can see how long people are lasting. You can see where people are falling off. It's a great tool. You know, that's the most important thing. And the longer they stay on each video, the more SEO you're going to get off that video. So the key with YouTube is, by the way, which is opposite from social, they want longer videos. Right? In social, you do a long video. It's not a good thing. Yeah, you want to keep those things short, like a minute's good, right? But on YouTube, an 8 to 10 minute video is not a bad thing, because if people stayed on there 4, 5 minutes, you're going to get great SEO off of that, right? So if you only put a 4-minute video and they only stayed on it 1 or 2 minutes, that's bad. You're not going to get great SEO off of that. Now, that doesn't mean just start blabbing about nothing because you just want to get more SEO off of that, because now you're going to lose a following because they're going to be like, that was a video full of nothing. So, you know, don't just try to blab on, just make sure you have good content, but don't be afraid to let the content go on a little further. But here's another key point. It's part of the editing. You could add some photos, some still shots, put some little fun things in there that can draw the video out a little bit. If you look through Karen's stuff, she's got some fun little, you know, little snippets that come in and like little fun faces and things that are cute. They're little snapshots, but they draw the video out. Right? And you don't feel like they're drawing the video out, but it does. And she does that on purpose. She adds B-roll in. Absolutely. So depending on what she's doing, right? Exactly. You got it. So now this is the most important thing. Again, I say this all the time. If you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to no one. You've got to be specific. You've got to figure out what is your niche. And this is really critical in YouTube more than anywhere. Who can you help? Where can you really showcase value? You know, who can you really help solve a problem or give great content to? So it's really important that you figure that out. So here's some ways to do that. Come up, she calls it your ideal client avatar. So she has a little worksheet that I added. But here's some idea. How old is your customer? So do you like working with people who are first-time home buyers? God help you. Do you like working with the investor type? Do you like working with move up, move down? You like working with people who speak another language? Maybe you like to work with relocation customers, right? People who you know, maybe are married or singles, or maybe you like to work with millennials, or maybe you work with people who are engineers because you're really good with that kind of person. Listen, I am not going to do a great video for people who are engineers. Not gonna do it. Okay. Now, unless there are engineers wanting to know about contracts, we could do well. But other than that, probably not so much. So
Mary, what did you call this? Ideal what? Ideal.
She calls it your client avatar. Yeah. But you really want to think about who, and we talk about it all the time, right? Who is the person? If you could wave a magic wand, my ninjas, and figure who is the person, who are the people you'd love to work with? If you could say, bring me these people over and over again. I want to work with them all the time. Now, of course, in my ideal world, those sellers, right? But anyway, who are they? Who are they? What kind of people are they? Are they move up? Are they move down? Of course, they're luxury customers. And that's okay. They could be luxury. Maybe you focus on luxury, but what side of luxury? Right? Are they luxury people who have 3 and 4 homes? And maybe they do this as, maybe it's you focus on 1031 like kind of exchange properties, or maybe you focus on, whatever. Figure out what type of a niche, but make it big enough that you have enough content to share that enough people would be interested in it. And where you're going to do that is through keywords that we're going to talk about in a minute. Okay. So here's some things, and I'll share this with all you guys. I have this avatar list that I can send to you. And this is just something to kind of think through in your brain. Okay. But it's really more, if I sat down there and think through all the people I've ever worked with, circle all the ones you liked working with. Now, sometimes it's personality based, but a lot of times it's because you really like working with that type of customer. right? That's really going to help you decide, you know, I really learned so much and I really enjoyed working with these folks. I could do so much content based around that, right? Or it could be neighborhood related. It could totally be neighborhood related. You know, there's some really great things about, listen, the other thing when you're thinking about a niche, it could, if you're thinking about a neighborhood, think about, and we'll talk more about keywords, people love things like the top 5 things that you have to know before you move to Lake Nona. Now, what are those top 5 things you have to know? I don't know. You got to figure that out. But maybe it's some shortcuts to get around this dang road over here, right? Because I don't know about you, but that Narcoossee is a big pain in the neck. So if you know some shortcuts, please share them with me because I don't know them. And seriously, but like Alan, you've lived here for years. You might know some stuff, right?
I know a couple back roads.
See, so the 5.
It's a lot easier.
Right. Or, you know, maybe the best and the worst of moving to Orlando. There's pros and cons, right? What's some of the cons? I-4. We can talk about that all day long, right?
It's long till you get on I-4.
Right. Getting on I-4. Is it ever going to finish construction? We don't know, right? So there's a lot of things you can talk about. So you can create a little storyboard for yourself. And I recommend doing that. I recommend before you do a video, create a little storyboard for yourself. And guys, the more fun you make the video, if it's just kind of dry or worse, sentimental. How about you guys? I was talking to Tasha. I find sentimental videos boring. I mean, is it me?
No.
You know, sentimental videos are kind of like,
Carrie, you have no heart.
I'm not saying the touching ones like that guy who couldn't walk and then he does the whole yoga thing. That was totally amazing. I'm not saying that.
No, I'm saying you're in the right tribe because I feel the same way.
Okay, so we're both heartless. Fabulous. Okay, great. I'm moving on, Stacy. Okay, anyway, we're gonna move on. All right, so here's some tips and tricks as we move along. So number 1, this is so critical, really on any social, but especially YouTube, be yourself. Because remember, you're trying to create a following. I don't know about you guys, but especially, you know, and I reached back to when I was planning my trip because I did find people that I liked. And so as I was traveling to different locations, I would go to their channel and see if they went to other places because I just liked the way they didn't even have the best information, but I liked the way they talked. I liked the way they shared things. There was this one guy who went everywhere, but I hated the way he talked. He really was annoying. So I just couldn't, I'd have to mute him. And then, because he put the, you know, the subtitles, and so I'd just read it because I just couldn't stand the way he talked. So, it's true. I guess I'm mean too. Okay, now we know that about me. All right, it's all out there. So anyway, but be yourself because that will help you create a following. And also, again, like we just said, create that niche because the thing with the niche is people are going to search you over and over again, right? Now, it doesn't always have to be the area. Like, you know, the 5 best things to know about Lake Nona before you move there could also be the best kept secrets of Winter Garden, right? Or you want to be in when you think you want to be in Windermere, but did you know Winter Garden has more bang for your buck, right? Like, that's a good one. Somebody should write that down. That was a good one. Anyway, right? These are things that you can, now I would check the keyword on that, because I want to see how people know Windermere versus Winter Garden, right? So these are things we're going to talk about. Again, we're not really going for the number of views, right? Because we're really going more for the interest in the topic. We need views, but we really want people who are going to stay on the topic longer. I'd rather have less people watch it, but watch it for longer than tons of people watch it, but only for like a minute.
Right.
Right? Because it's going to help you more to have someone sit there and watch the whole video. If 5 people watched my whole video, but 10 people only sat there for 1 minute, my SEO is going to be so much better for the 5 people that watched the whole video.
Right.
So remember, it's not about necessarily the number of people. So that's why that clickbait thing is only good to a point. Make sure that whatever you're getting them to, like if you do the 5 best secrets about, make sure that your video actually talks about the 5 best secrets, right?
Right.
that's where you have to make sure that whatever your title, it could be enough to get someone to watch it, but make sure that the content backs up whatever the title is talking about. And you'll know if it doesn't, because you'll see where people start dropping off. If they drop off really quickly, that tells you that your title is good enough to get people to watch, but not good enough. Your content isn't good enough to keep people watching.
It has a little heat map that tells you when people
Mhm.
click off.
Oh yeah, you see when people stop
You see
watching.
people start watching. Yeah.
Mhm. So that's a good indication. If they stop watching soon, it tells you if there's a lot of people clicking, great job on your title, great job on your keywords, bad job on your content.
Yeah,
Got to pick that up a little bit.
right.
And another thing is, which we'll talk about, is sometimes it's the content that you start with. It's not necessarily your content, it's the order you put your content in. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Keywords everywhere is awesome. Does anybody ever used it? Okay, you
I
have.
heard of it.
Do you like it?
Mhm.
So cool, isn't it? So you know me, if it's free, it's for me. They do have a free version. It's not very good. You need to pay $10. It's $10 really for the year, because it gives you enough credits to really last like a year. Would you say it's lasted you about a year, the $10?
Depends on how many keyword searches you're doing.
It does, and it depends on how many options you have open,
Yeah.
because you can see just, so basically, we're gonna look at it really quick. Here's an example. She has moving to Boise, Idaho, and you'll see down here, the volume here says 480. That means over the last month, 480 people searched that. That's pretty darn good. And then it tells you here the competition is 0.25. That's good. That means this is a really good keyword. And so keyword really isn't a keyword, it's really a phrase.
The keywords for
They call them long
YouTube,
tail.
what I'm lost on here, keywords for YouTube, where are you putting those in?
That's your title.
Nice, yeah.
That's in-
It's the title. You can,
Yeah.
yeah, you can search. So keywords, you can search for Google, you can search for YouTube, you can search tags, you could search contents. It's different things on different places. Why I like to search for YouTube is you want to see if people are searching it and it comes up in the search engine. Because yeah, you can, but you can look in both places, was what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you start in the Google search, you'll see if someone says moving to Boise, Idaho, moving to Lake Nona, it'll appear. Then you could go to YouTube, put the same phrase in, and it'll show you what tags to use,
Yeah.
right? And that's the other thing, because you'll want to add other.
To the consumer, if they're typing it in, it'll still, even if you just tag it, you don't make it popular, it would still pop up to you.
Yeah, but the title will be better because there's only 0.25 competition. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know what the tag looks like because I didn't pull in tags, right? But there may be other tags that you can use that might even be stronger, that even have more. So, you know, there's tags that you can add to it. Now, there's also, you can go to YouTube, type in a phrase like moving to Boise, Idaho, and it'll tell you how many people searched it in YouTube.
Right.
It'll tell you how the SEO is working. It'll tell you what tags you could be using. So you can search it in YouTube and in Google. I would probably start in Google because for us, remember, we're looking for real estate, right? So probably people are going to start in Google before they start on YouTube. If I'm looking to know how to fix a radiator, I can't imagine I would ever do that. I don't know why that came to my head, but let's say you guys were all surprised, right? You're like, yeah, right, you are, Gary. So I would go to YouTube because I have no idea how to do that. And I would say, how to fix a radiator for an Audi? Because I drive one too. And it would tell me. I wouldn't look in Google, right? Because I would want to go right to the video to figure out how to do that. But if I was wanting to know about an area, I might want to start in Google because I might want to see what people are saying about it. I might not want to just start with videos. I might want to start with other content about that area. You know what I
So-
mean?
So let me give you an example. Like I'm gonna do one tomorrow as an interview.
Mhm.
with an air traffic control
Great. for
for Lake Nona, because it's Orlando International Airport.
Nice.
So how would you put that in the title?
So I would say I would probably search for maybe something like crazy traffic in Lake Nona and see if people are searching for that keyword.
Okay.
Now, does it relate? Yes, because you're talking about air traffic, right? And then you can see maybe that some of the tags you could add to air, right? So it could be.
Hi, Katie. My name is Jennifer Ramos. I am calling about,
Thanks, Jen. But you see what I'm saying? So you can then get people interested in it. Because if you just say air traffic control, no one's going to search that.
Yeah.
It's too specific. You see what I'm saying? And if you did living in Lake Nona, that's too general because you're really talking about the air traffic controller. But so if you said, you know, is the traffic in Lake Nona really so as crazy as they say, right? So
What about something like how's the air?
no, because then they're going to think air quality. And that could also say something negative, right?
Yeah.
So I would say something like crazy traffic in Lake Nona and see that keyword, right?
Okay.
And then
Traffic, or is your traffic, or is your
Traffic.
commute up in the air?
oh, is your yeah, that could be a good title, but check that keyword.
We're gonna land it with air traffic controller, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Carrie, quick question.
Yes.
When you're picking the keyword, you go and you pay for it, and then you pick the keyword that you want, or does
Yeah.
it populate?
You can also have suggestions.
Okay.
So it'll populate other phrases that people search for, and then it'll give you other suggestions.
And you want to pick one that has low competition.
Yes.
High search criteria.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want anything like 70%, you know, you want to keep it, I would say at least 40% or below, you know, for competition. But you definitely want it to be higher on the searchability, right? That people have been looking for that phrase. Anybody online have any questions about that? We good?
Like could be good downstairs.
Okay. So remember when you're creating content to make it about the subject of the business. So like the pros and cons of living in Orlando, right? Make it a little bit more general when you're talking about the subject. Do not go to Lake Nona without knowing these 7 things. Like people love that kind of stuff, right? Do not go to Dr. Phillips unless you know this. What is it?
Or like the best kept secret.
The best kept secrets.
Exactly.
Everybody loves the best. Everybody wants to know what other people don't know. Everybody wants to be the first to know things, right? Everybody wants to, you know, that's the stuff people want to know. Just think about knowledge is power. And if they have it first, they feel like they know better. You know what I mean? So these are the kinds of topics that you want. Now, remember, it's not about getting in front of more people. It's about getting in front of the right people. And that's why it's really important to decide. Don't be all over the place. That doesn't mean you can't do videos about different communities and then choose a niche of that's going to be investors. And then it doesn't mean that. But it means that make sure that when you're picking that niche, that video is really about that and you're honing in on that video and those keywords for that specific thing. Don't make that video too broad. I think people tend to, that's a mistake they make a very broad video. Like if you did a thing living in Orlando, what's it about? That's really broad, right? It's really broad. So, you know, if you wanted to say living in Orlando, downtown, small town, what's better for you? You know what I mean? Like you maybe you bring it that way, that could maybe draw people's attention, you know? Or maybe you could say, well, what 200,000, what 2 million could get you living in Orlando. People will watch that,
Yeah.
right? Of course, what will 200,000 get you in Orlando? That would be very sad. You better start at 300 because yeah, it's probably Pine Hill.
Get your fractional ownership.
Fractional ownership, excellent. You got it. Ding, ding, ding.
Place in Thunder.
Hey, there you go. Okay.
Go find the co-buyer with the other 200.
Mhm. Okay, but those are the kinds of things people like. You did that one. Which one did you do? It was great.
We did one that was what 750 got you, and then what 445 got you. So what the comparison of the 2 properties
In a certain community.
in a certain community. So we did that one on Facebook Live. We got about like 3,000 views per video, and then we uploaded it to the YouTube channel.
So now what would have been interesting when you uploaded it to YouTube is to do a keyword search to see what would have been important, because I bet that community probably didn't have a lot of keyword searches.
That's the thing I didn't know about the keyword. Like
Yeah.
when I upload on YouTube, you know, when you're uploading it,
Yeah.
it gives you like pick certain tags or
When
like,
it's
either that's-
educational or entertainment.
Yeah, so I
Mhm.
haven't really mastered that down as
Yeah.
far as okay, what do I think right now it's but it works as people in blogs, I guess, because it comes up better like that, but I have to check into that.
Yeah, we're gonna look at that. Okay. So these are her top videos that have done the best through all of her videos that she had. None of them, by the way, has gone viral, but yet she gets 3 to 5 leads a day. Do we care if they go viral?
No.
Hell no. I'll take the 3 to 5 leads a day. And by the way, her conversion on these are like 90 some odd %. I mean, all day long, right? All day long.
So going financial is better than going viral.
Yes. Do not go to Savannah without knowing, blah, blah, blah. 7 tips to moving out of state. Best places to live in Georgia. 3 affordable towns to consider. Living in Savannah, Georgia, what I love. Living in Augusta, Georgia, pros and cons. I mean, very simple, easy, but that's what the people are looking for. You know, they're not,
Is she getting, these 3 to 5 leads a day using like keywords and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Remember the keywords, she didn't create these titles without using keywords. Right. Now, again, we know who cares about the I'm joking, number of views, right? It's all about the number of customers. I don't care if I get 100 views as long as I get a customer, whatever. But the most important thing is making sure that the content is searchable. Now, remember, let's say you did, is your commute in the air? And you found that there was good keywords to that, right? And then 5 years down the line, you're still getting leads on that. That's what's really cool about YouTube, because it lives there forever.
But when you're talking about keywords and tags, are they the same thing? really?
No. Tags are part of, it's built into the post. The keywords is what you're using to create the title and the description. Mhm. You have anything you want to share, Shane? Because you've been doing it. Have you found anything good with it?
Well, I mean, I find the keywords work in the tags too. Like I'll take the suggestions.
No, you tease the
I'll
suggestions.
put those into the tags. If it doesn't fit like in the title,
Yeah.
but I still want it to pop up,
Mhm.
like if it's related, I'll still put it in the tags.
And you use a lot of them in the description, I'm sure.
No,
You're gonna try to sneak them in?
if it
If it's
applies,
applicable,
yeah,
obviously.
if it
Yeah,
applies.
yeah.
I don't want to just like have it.
Yeah,
just
random.
A bunch of random keywords.
That don't make sense.
Yeah.
That would be weird. That would be weird. Yeah. But a lot of times they're kind of sentencey, so you can kind of make them make sense if you
Those are
think
like
about
the
it.
long tail and short tail keyword differences.
Well, they have that too, and they have other keyword suggestions. They give you all,
yeah.
they give you different versions.
So check that out.
But again, the most important thing you have to, I can't say it enough, is to be authentic. I have been on so many videos lately and I'm like, that's not that person. I always go back to one particular agent that I can't even believe she did this. She actually rapped. Do you remember, Kathy? She rapped her way through a house.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
I can't unsee it. Kim Horvath, can you attest to that? Do you remember her rapping her way through that house? It's so horrifying. Oh my word. When she ended in like I was like,
Oh, Carrie, I was
No.
about to do that.
Jules, you probably could pull it off better. I still don't recommend it, but in
No.
this particular case, it'd be like me rapping. It was,
I'll do it in Portuguese.
yeah, at least then maybe for the rest of us, maybe we think it would make sense, but yeah, no, it was so bad. It was so bad. Yeah, no, don't do it. Please don't. Yeah, really, really bad. Okay, so again, create the content that people really want to know. Don't create content that you want to tell. So we have a lot of agents that really want to show their knowledge, right? That doesn't mean that the people want to hear it, right? Again, people want to also say it in a way that people are going to understand it. Don't use acronyms. I see that a lot. Like if you want to talk about pricing your home, which I don't think I would do really a video on, but let's say you wanted to do something about the 5 tips that a seller needs to know selling your home, and you wanted to say something about pricing your home for an appraiser or something, don't talk about a CMA, right? Don't use CMA jargon, make sure that the content is really deliverable so that anybody could understand it.
No, I just
Yes.
had some ideas about what we talked about.
Okay. Things that people won't tell you, again, I would recommend watch yourself in a video, in the mirror, or record yourself, because sometimes you might notice you do weird things. So sometimes it's kind of good before you actually.
Yeah, weird facial expression.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then there could be things that people be like, yeah, no, that was great. There's going to be things that people want. So just, look at it yourself first, because the cool thing is that this doesn't have to be live, right? YouTube does not have to be live. So make sure, yes.
There is an application that I've been using for quite a while. It's called OneStream.
OneStream.
You can upload your video to OneStream, and then it will connect to YouTube Live, Facebook Live. It tells Facebook as well as YouTube that you're going live, even though it is a pre-recorded video. It's called
Oh,
OneStream. I love
OneStream.
it so much.
I
'Cause
like
you can-
that.
Instagram as well.
Did you guys
It-
hear
It's
that?
called OneStream. I love it so
Let me
much.
see if I could go to my chat box here.
Yes.
I'll put it in here.
is
OneStream, one word.
OneStream, yep.
OneStream.
Stream software, one stream.
And that is the, from Tony, that is the app that you can actually pre-record a video, and it'll tell YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram that you're going live,
Yep.
even though you're not
though
live.
you're
You
not
actually
live.
pre-recorded that. I love that.
It freaked my wife out.
Sweet.
She was watching me do a video live in a Facebook group that I moderate, and I'm walking down the stage like, I thought you were doing a live video. I was like, nope.
That's really nice. So you can fix yourself, make sure
You
it
can
looks
fix
good.
yourself, that's right. Hey, look, I don't have a lot of work
For
to do.
those
I
of
gotta make
you-
sure it's-
I think there's edits in there, and we're like, that's not live. I just
Yeah.
I just
Or-
Saw you
there.
walking.
Or maybe it is, you have a production company that does your little thirst for you.
I love that. Nice. Now remember, people need to like and trust you. So probably the edit thing may like break away from that. But no, I do think it's important though. Remember, whatever you say, I say this all the time, stay in your lane, only say what you know to be true.
Mhm.
It can't even be more true on YouTube. If you don't know something as 100% true, you can't take that back.
No.
So make sure you're only talking about what you know is to be true on YouTube, and always be positive. I'll tell you, that's the number one mistake. Anything that's negative out there, that sets a precedence that, you don't want out there. You don't want people thinking that you're a negative Nelly, even about anything. So just make sure that everything you put out is representing you in the light that you want to be represented. So remember what your value proposition is and how you want people to see you. Whatever that content is, always make sure you're true to that person, right? That's a really critical thing. For example, I think it could be very scary if you wanted to talk about Zillow's estimates, because we all have special feelings about that. And sometimes we may have trouble hiding our special feelings about that. So that's why I would not recommend doing a video on that if you have trouble hiding your real feelings about that. So be very careful the content that you choose to put out. Make sure that it is positive, that it's putting out things in a good light, because nobody wants to be known as that negative realtor. I mean, there are realtors who are like that, but I wouldn't want to be known for that, right? So just keep that in mind.
It's actually OneStream.live. I want to make sure,
Oh,
because there's another company. out there that-
OneStream.live. Let me put that out there.
Not the software platform, but it's
Okay,
called
sorry.
OneStream.live. Yeah.
OneStream.live.
Yeah.
That's what it's really called. Don't go to OneStream because that's a platform.
Yeah. One word.
That would work for doing individual videos, but it wouldn't work for like a bunch.
For a series?
Yeah.
Well, it would, because you could pre-record a bunch and then go one at a time. So it would actually, yeah. Now remember, again, and this is even more to what I just said, this stuff will live out there forever, right? There's no shelf life here. So make sure that your content is always good, but you can tweak it. That's the other cool thing. If you find that the keywords are better or changing, you can go in there and edit this stuff. You can edit the name of things. You can change it in the Creator Studio part of the YouTube channel. So that's a cool thing. You can always tweak and change the names or the tags or the keywords of the video. So if you need to do that, you can.
That's where I need help. I need help on figuring out where to go to put keywords compared to text.
Yep, I can show you where that is. Now, these are the things you got to know. Don't do YouTube haphazardly in the sense of not being set up properly. You need to have some equipment, not a lot, but you can use a camera. You could use a cell because they all have beautiful cameras. You could use your webcam. That's not a problem. We all have something we could use. But you do need some kind of lighting. You could use like what I have, which is this cool little ring light kind of thing that I bought from Amazon for 25 bucks. You know, whatever. It clips onto my little camera there. You could use the ones that have the stand that you put the phone in, whatever you want. There's a bunch of them. Is that the one you have? Whatever works for you. You can use, but the most important thing, again, we talked about it already in this room, but I'll bring it up again, is the audio. They will forgive everything but audio. If you have bad audio, that video is going to tank. So make sure you have some type of Bluetooth earbuds, lavalier, you know, some kind of USB mic for your computer, anything, but make sure you are truly mic'd. Because if they do not hear you clearly, don't put that video out. Other than that,
Especially if you're like far away from the camera and you're doing like a tour of a home. Or
Right.
A tour of a town.
or you're walking
Okay.
around and there's wind. Like that's the worst.
It's so bad. But you could also, I mean, now you can put like auto gen, yeah, either voiceover or the
Yeah, you can put the, yeah, but
still
it's
not
just
there.
bad. It's just bad. Just get yourself like Bluetooth earbuds, guys. You can get them anywhere. You don't even have to have the Apple ones. You can get it. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No problem. I actually have a lavalier. I have a really nice setup. I never use it, but I have it. Mhm.
You could get,
So-
like, their Bluetooth clip-ons, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I have that.
I don't know.
I never use that, but I have it. Yes, I have all these really great things I never use. But just make sure the microphone is the number one most important thing that nobody uses. So that's the one that you should use. The other key thing that she had said, and I think it's really important, you probably only need a half an hour to do this, but go somewhere where you're by yourself. Come here in the office, any one of my offices. We have space that you can go be by yourself because you want to be away from distraction. Right? If you're home, you've got the phone, you've got the kids, you got the dog, you got the whatever, right? It's just, you don't want that. You want to be somewhere where you can really sit down, put your storyboard out, whatever you want to say. You know, I'm an off the cuff kind of gal. Anybody who knows me, right? I just want to say it and be done. But I do in my brain create that storyboard of what I'm going to say. What's the first thing? What's the next thing? Break it down kind of by section. And then that's what I do. But if you're not that person, put it on the board in front of you, you know, section 1, section 2, section 3. It's not that you should have a script. I'm not a scripter. I don't like scripts. I think scripts you see canned, it's bad. But have bullet points of the topics you want to cover. And that way they're in front of you and you remember what you want to say, right? Also, if you know you want to do B-roll in between, make sure you pause. So make sections so you can pause where your B-roll should roll. You know what I mean?
There's a teleprompter app. It's called Big View, BIGVU.
Hold on, I'm gonna add that in there for everybody.
And you
Oops.
can control the speed. It's awesome. So if you talk fast, you can have it go up to 200 words a minute. If you talk slow, you can put it down like 100, 125.
Big
50 words a
view.
minute.
What's a big view?
BIGVU.
It's a
Big View.
teleprompter
It's
app.
a teleprompter app. And you can
So
set
you
it
hold
on
the
right there.
cord while your
Yeah.
text is forward.
B and then the letter U. Big
Yeah.
U, yeah. You
I
can
hate
have it right there.
teleprompters.
It'll go slow, but yeah, I'm like you, Carrie. I just need to have like a piece of paper with some bullet points, and then I'll just talk to each point.
Yeah, usually I don't even want paper. I find the paper distracting personally. I'm just like, don't even, nope. Go. Do you want to do it again? Nope. I don't really like to do more than once. If I have to, I'm going to do it 50 times now because it's never going to be right. So, but yeah, just that's all you need, really. And then the fourth and the most important thing you already have. What is it? Lead capture. We do this for leads. That's the whole point. And where do they need to go? all that other stuff is garbageola, your website. So we need to make sure they're going to a page on your website that, I don't know, you need someone to help you create. Oh, we've got nobody in this company who can help you. Oh my gosh. If only we had somebody. Who could it be? Oh, me. I don't know. We've got nobody. So, but we need to make sure that we're bringing them somewhere. And let's talk about why would we bring them somewhere? Well, first of all, the longer they stay, remember, the better your SEO, the better you rank. So you want to make them a little bit longer. You want to check your analytics to see where you're losing people. So after you've done your video and you start getting people watching it, you want to see where you're losing them to get a better idea of where you're losing them in your content. Remember, here's the first clue. Don't start, this is interesting. Don't start by introducing yourself. You lose them in the beginning.
Because they already know who you are.
Well, you still have to introduce yourself because it is real estate, but you don't do it in the beginning because you don't want them to think it's a sales pitch. Very interesting. So you want to tell them what's in it for them first. So you start by saying, you know, if you think you want to move to Orlando, you can't come here if you don't know the 7 best things that are the best kept secrets. So we're going to talk about the best. We're going to start with the worst, then we're going to get to the best. So better stick along with me. And just so you know, I'm Carrie Prieto. I'm here as your real estate advisor, but I'm going to tell you, nobody knows that, blah, 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 right? So you sneak it in there, but don't start with who you are first.
Okay.
Start with what's in it for them. You can, 30 seconds in, even a minute in, you're fine. But give them what's in it for them first. Don't end with that business card. Don't end with your name. Also, I would tell you a couple times during the video, sneak in the call to action. I wouldn't just wait for the end. Just say, and remember, we've got that free, visiting Orlando guide, or, best deals in new construction, or free relocation guide, or whatever it is you're giving them. Remember to click on the link below and you can get your free guide to blah, 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 right? It's always free. And then all they got to do is click on the link below.
I think,
Where do you put the link?
Below in the description.
I think Karen even says she doesn't put her contact information in her videos
At all.
It's in her description.
Yep, at all. Which is good. I mean, she says her name and where she's a realtor and blah, 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 but she doesn't do it until sometime into the thing. My chair is moving down. So here's some ideas of calls to action. Free relocation guide. Guys, we already have that. Your free blank neighborhood guide. If you're doing one on Lake Nona, your free Lake Nona guide, your free Dr. Phillips guide, your free, we have all that. Your free buyer's guide. Do we have that? Yeah, we do. Your top 5 sellers tips for getting the most for your home. Do we have that?
Yep.
I mean, if we don't, we can make that really quick. Your free guide to real estate investing. Do we have that? We can throw it in a flip book really, really quick, right? There's so many things that we could come up with. Very, very simple to do. So really, we have the tools and resources to whip up your free anything so fast. And we just throw it right onto our website, right in your website. So right on a page, and that page would also have lead capture on it. That's the beautiful thing. And that's the beautiful thing about sending there. They give us all their information, they get their free thing, and now they tell us everything because they want to, because they got something of value. And now we have a real lead, right? That's the difference. Any questions about that, guys?
Nope.
So first, what do? You create
content.
your content. So that starts with deciding what your niche is. What do you want to talk about? Start searching for those keywords, come up with an idea, then editing. Once you got the content, you got to edit it. You can do it yourself, but that takes a heck of a lot of time, right, Shane? How long does it take you to edit a video?
It depends on how much B-roll and,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah, could take
2
hours. Hours.
Mhm.
Now you could use, iMovie to do this in. You could take, there's tons of, tons of applications you could
Final
use.
Cut Pro.
Yeah, you could. Adobe has tons of them.
That's what my dad likes.
Yeah.
Or you can outsource it. And one that she recommends called Video Ease. That's a company that she recommends to use for outsourcing. That she says they're very reasonable and they're
Hey,
really
Karen,
good. Yes,
would you write on the chat the name of the company?
that she
Please.
recommends to. Yeah.
Oh, yes, please, and thank you.
Sure. Oops. Wait. Go back. Go back. Okay. Hold on. Now what happens? Oh my gosh. Look what you made me do. Just kidding. Let's see. Where is my chat box? Here it is. Chat. Video. Yep, there it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so she recommends them for, she said before she was using them, she was using a company in Thailand, you know, like one of the online ones, and they were charging her like $2 an hour. And she's like, I have to pay you more. So she was paying them $3 an hour. Then it was $4 an hour. She went to $5 an hour. But she just felt like they weren't as reliable. So she ended up switching to this company, Video Ease, and she says they're fabulous. And she just uploads the content to a Google Doc, and then they have it done like in a day. So, and then they add all this separate stuff that she wants, the B-roll. She just uploads the B-roll footage and they add it in and whatever she wants to add, all the edited pieces. So they're great. The other really big part is your thumbnail. Your thumbnail can't just be some random thing that came from your video. Be very, very cognizant of whatever thumbnail you use, because that's what also gets people to click on it. So make sure you can create your own thumbnail. You don't have to use one that is from the video either. You can upload your own thumbnail. So make sure that your thumbnail is interesting enough to make them want to click on it.
What does she recommend? Canva?
Canva.
Yeah.
Of course, who doesn't love Canva? I love Canva too. And Canva's what? Free. Okay, so Canva's great. Canva.com. That's what she recommends to do your thumbnail. And then to create your description. And again, if you can incorporate the keywords, fabulous. Make your description interesting. But most importantly, that's where you put your link, right? Also to where they're going to go to get their free whatever, right? So, and that's where she also puts her information, because she doesn't include it in the video anywhere. So
You gotta have that link already on the webpage, which we need to create.
exactly. So that's part of creating that content. And that's the great thing about having a niche. Once you know, okay, this is what I'm going to create some video content about. We could create these these pieces that you're going to give away, and we can have them already set on your pages ready to go. So then you just pick the pages when you're doing that video. Yeah, and I think, you know, I would, instead of having to see how much your home is worth as the free, I would always add that as an option for them to select when they're clicking to get their download, right? Never make that why they're going there. Have that as another free option for them to see once they're there, right? But have them be able to get something for free that they wanted to see, like the free download of the buyer's guide, their free relocation guide, whatever that is, right? But I think it's important that, because so many people, they may feel like you're just trying to sell their home or something, right? But if they already got something, their defenses are a little bit down, so they're not feeling that. They saw your video, they got this free thing, so you did what you said you were going to do. Oh yeah, cool, I want to see how much my home, you know what I mean? Now they're feeling good about it. Versus you said you're going to give them something free. Now, you know, it gives a wrong message. So I'd say be very careful the give and take. Always give first before you take. And that's why don't make them give you their information before they get something. That's another thing, right? They should want to give you their information. And if they're not ready to do it, it's okay, right? That's the point. Keep creating great content, because they will want to give you that information. That's the point of, listen, we know how many times people see something, they're not ready to make a move, right? But the point is, we're building a sphere. We're building people who like and trust us. So as soon as they do want some information, they're going to contact us. This is the way to keep in front of them, keep them interested, but more importantly, become that trusted advisor, right? For free. So I would definitely not ask them for something first before they got something. All right, so the last thing is the keywords. So let's get out of here. Can everybody see keywords everywhere?
That's where you pay for the keywords, right?
Yep. So keywords everywhere is a Chrome extension. So you want to go to Chrome Web Store.
Oh, okay.
So you got to go to the Chrome Web Store first. And once you go there, you look for keywords everywhere. So slow. Keywords everywhere. There it is. Now mine is already added to my toolbar, but if it wasn't, it'd say add it. So click on it and you add that. And mine now, it's, if you don't see it on your bar here, you click this little puzzle and you can see it's added right here, keywords everywhere. So it gets added. Now, when it's free, you still get some tools, like it'll analyze page content, bulk data trends. So there is some things that it will analyze. But once you get in here, what you have to do is you have to get an API key. This is the API key. So what you do is you say, get API key, you put it in an email and it'll send an email with the API key to your whatever email you put in. Copy that, go back into.
Wait, how do you do that again? Because I actually downloaded this and this is what I needed help with. I'm so glad you're
Sure.
covering this. How do you get the API key again?
So you go to get API key.
Oh.
And you
The big
say, you
letters.
put in your email
Okay,
and they email you the link. So
okay, I missed that. Okay, all right. Because I did all of that to that part. I couldn't figure out where to get that at, so.
yep, so
okay.
get API key, you put in your email. You don't have to agree for the monthly newsletter either way. I didn't. I just said agree to the terms and I said email me the API key. So they emailed me the key. I copied it. And then you come back in here. So you go back there to here, right? Back to your keywords everywhere. When you have it copied, now I have it copied, right? And you go to settings. And then you paste it right into your API key. So you got to send the email, copy it from your email, go back in here, hit to settings, and then paste it and hit validate. Everybody with me? Sweet.
Ellie, what is the API key? What is, I'm lost there.
An
What's that for?
Well, according to Tony, it's called the application program interface. What I know it as is an identifier, so they know that when you've paid your $10, it's assigned to this app, to this user. So you could be on any computer. If you use this user ID, like you'd know that, you better copy it somewhere. You could use that and you could use these keywords anywhere. So it's basically like your user ID that has these $10 of keywords that you could use anywhere, like credits that they have. Yeah, we use API keys to connect things. So if you wanted to connect this to a website or things like that, that's what that API does. It's a connector piece, basically. Does that make sense? So then you can decide, once you hit validate, what types of information you wanted to use for. So if you wanted, I like the planner and the clickstream. I like both. And then what kind of data do you want to see? So I want to see the volume. That is how many people are clicking on this every month. Yeah. Now I really don't care about this. I can turn this off. This is the credits that people, this is the pay-per-click. These are the people that are paying to use it. I don't really care about that. Competition is what I care about. I mean, I can leave it on there. It doesn't hurt me, but I really don't care about that necessarily. I care about the competition. These are the people that are using this already. These are the people that are using this keyword. So if there's a lot of people that are using this phrase, I don't want to use it. What's the point? I'd rather come up with a new phrase, right? And the trend means over a period of time, how often has this been used, right? So I can change the color that it'll highlight this. I can give the volume that it's showing me in. And then if I wanted to highlight this, this is the clip, paper clip kind of thing, or I can also highlight the competition, which I'd like to do that. Then what websites do I want to show me? Well, I want it to be supported on Google. So if I'm searching on Google, I want it to show up automatically. So if I type a phrase into the Google search, it's automatically going to show what those keywords are, right?
Okay.
The planner on analytics, on trends. If I do it on YouTube, if I type it into YouTube, it's automatically going to show that. I don't use Bing, so I don't care. If I go into Yahoo, it can work. If I go into Amazon, I don't know why I'd want to do Amazon. I don't really want it on
That's
Yahoo.
if you're selling products on Amazon. If you want to see what people are searching.
That's
People-
interesting.
Sellers, it's Amazon sellers.
Yeah.
If any of you have a day job selling on Amazon, eBay, or Etsy, you may like that. You can see what people are looking to buy. I don't know what DuckDuckGo is or
It's a
Sue.
private web browser.
I don't use any of those. Answer the public, keyword, what the heck is that?
We won't say that one out loud.
I'm like, am I reading that properly?
Yeah.
Keyword shice. Okay, I'm not gonna say that in English. All right, there we go. And Instagram, I'll take it. Yeah, so there you go. So you pick that. Now this here, and I want to look a little bit more on the YouTube. There's a YouTubes for all of this with keywords. YouTube's using keywords for Google, using keywords everywhere for YouTube. They have a video specific to using this for each search platform. So I highly recommend before you start using it, just to watch it's like a little 3-minute video. I've watched them all, but I want to go back and watch it again, because this is credit usage. So depending on what you have turned on, for example, if I turn on long tail widget, right? They give me all these long other options. For each option it gives me, it uses a credit.
Yes.
So I don't necessarily want that, right? If I wanted extra options, I might turn it on, but I don't necessarily want an option every time I search a keyword, because I could go through a ton of credits really, really quickly. Here I'm expecting to use $10 for like a year. I could use $10 in a month, right? So I want to be specific as to what I want these turned on and which ones I want it. So my point to you is, before you start using this, you might want to watch that little YouTube video for 3 minutes just to see which ones from the credit usage you want to have turned on, okay? And then these are just other things. Find the keyword button, the difficulty metrics. These are other extra things that they have. And again, they talk about that in the videos to see. I don't think you're going to be really using much of these unless you're a total, tech geek. Tony, you'll like these, but most other people are really going to just typically use the ones that we talked about up here: the volume and the competition, and maybe the trend. Those are the ones that you're going to really be most interested in. Once it's paid for, there should be a button that mine is not showing up here, which says start, and then you can pay, and they have different amounts. You only need to pay the $10. And then you're done. So once you start searching, either in the Google or whichever ones you have set up, right? If you have DuckDuckGo, whatever, or the YouTube, it'll automatically start showing up underneath the search. Just automatic. It's on. Once it's paid for, it's on until you run out of credits. Any questions on how that works? It seems so simple, right?
It's not simple, but I'm like, I actually can figure this out fairly good because I like, platforms. I love all this stuff. So I downloaded this and I was going through it while you were, so I could do it as well. So the Keywords Everywhere is a tool that helps you find what is being searched the most.
Yes.
In those words. So if I type in Ocala,
you wouldn't want to type in Ocala. It's I think that the fact that it says keywords is a little bit misguiding, because it's really not a word. It's really a phrase. So living in Ocala would be more what you type, or equestrian living in Ocala, or, the World Equestrian Center in Ocala, or, something like that. That's what you would type in, not Ocala. Ocala is just one word. It's just too basic. You'd want to have a whole phrase. And then if you saw living in Ocala, let's say had a lot of searches, but not a lot of competition, which I highly doubt, but let's say that was the case, then maybe you did your video using living in Ocala. So the 5 best things about living in Ocala. So you didn't just say living in Ocala, but you took that phrase and you added it to what your video is about. Follow me?
Okay. Yes, I'm gonna try this out because I think it's really.
Can anybody else explain it better? Anybody else?
No. I actually think how you did was good, but I think it's a very useful tool. And
it's awesome.
It's just one of those things that once you figure it out, what those cases, you can use them over and over and over again. Like
that's exactly the point. Mm-hmm. And so, like, let's say living in Ocala happens to be that really great phrase. Let's say it's really that great phrase, right? Then next time maybe you did the best kept secret about living in Ocala, right? So you could use the phrase again in different ways, or maybe you just change it up and did something totally different.
But it'll give suggestions, so
Yeah.
if what she's searching for is not a great phrase.
Yeah.
It'll say, you should better use these instead, and then try to incorporate.
Yeah, did you hear what Shane said? It gives suggestions. So if living
No.
in Ocala wasn't great,
So like if she put like.
Yeah.
Ocala real estate, but
Yeah.
not everybody's searching for Ocala real estate, it might suggest living in Ocala instead, and then you would use their suggestions.
Yeah.
That have the better metrics.
he said if you put Ocala real estate and it didn't have good metrics, they would say suggest maybe living in Ocala or other things, life in Ocala or whatever that might have better metrics.
Mhm.
And it would give you the
Okay, awesome.
volumes and it would give you the competition of all the other suggestions. But remember, for all of those things it's suggesting, you're paying credits for.
Right.
Everybody wants my money.
Well, but the credit, it's cheap.
It's-
Like
yeah,
they're really, really cheap. Like
Yeah,
you're
no, I think this is
like
an awesome
$10 for like
tool.
100,000 credits or some crazy number. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I could be off the number, but it's like a lot.
I love this. This is really useful, Carrie. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't say I created
Yeah.
it or I can't say I came up with it all by myself, but I will say that I'm sharing it because I'm a sharer. I'm a go-giver. So
You are a go-giver.
guys, I just want to share for all of those that are on. So next Monday, we're going to be in Dr. Phillips. This will not be Zoomed. It will be setting up your Instagram. So those of you who want to join, bring your laptops. We'll be setting up your Instagram with the Creator Studio and all of that good stuff. And then afterwards, we'll be hosting our first live ninja. So those of you who are ninjas, past and present, that sounded fun.
So, is there gonna be another course on this, like continuing?
Yes.
Oh, there
Yes,
is
yes.
on YouTube.
Yes, I'm going to continue with that. And then I will be doing Ninja twice a month, once in Dr. Phillips, once in Lake Nona. So if you want to come to both, if you want to come to one, it's up to you. So I just wanted you to share that. And the first one will be in Dr. Phillips after, and I'll send an email out on that. And then I was going to share something else and I totally went blank. I don't remember. Oh yeah. And if you haven't voted for me, vote for me.
Voted.
Everybody voted?
Hey,
Yay! Did you vote, Alan?
No, I haven't. I can't get on.
Oh,
I gotta look up my ID number.
your ID is your MLS ID. Your password, I can't help you with.
I have to look that up.
Well, I
I
know.
But I'll
I
get on to it.
know. Well, guys, thanks for coming. I hope you got something out of YouTube. We're going to do more on this because I really think this is going to be great. It's going to be a game changer. And I look forward to incorporating it into everybody's business. So have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one.
So in order to get started